Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you're all doing okay. I've got my hoodie on, my drink in hand, and a bunch of wild stories to share with you tonight. You know I couldn't resist diving into the depths of Reddit again. I stayed up way too late compiling these, so I might be running on caffeine and sheer chaos at this point. But hey, that's what makes it fun, right? So today we've got a bit of everything, some petty revenge, a little family drama, some awkward cringe encounters, even a sprinkle of workplace shenanigans. Basically all the secondhand chaos you love to hear about, so you can feel like your life is super normal by comparison. Get comfy, grab a snack, hide your phone under the pillow if you're supposed to be sleeping or whatever. I won't tell. Let's just chill and go through these stories together. And quick reminder, if you end up enjoying this, you know the drill. Hit that like button, subscribe, or leave a comment about which story was the most insane. I love hearing your takes. Alright, without further ado, let's jump into the first story of the night. And oof, this one, it's a petty revenge saga that literally stinks. Let's go. So there's this guy, we'll call him Chad, because of course it's a Chad, at OP's office, who constantly microwaves fish for lunch. Like every day this dude brings in the most tuna-tastic, salmon-reeking leftovers and nukes them in the shared kitchen. The whole office smells like a dumpster fire at a seaside fish market, and everyone is dying. I swear microwaving fish at work should be listed as a crime against humanity. Anyway, OP and others have dropped hints to Chad like, hey man, maybe do that at home. Or we have literally dozens of other foods in the world, my guy. But Chad just shrugs and keeps doing it. He has no nose or no shame or both. OP is fed up, and honestly, same. So OP hatches a plan, a petty stanky plan. Enter the durian fruit. If you don't know what a durian is, it's this big spiky fruit from Southeast Asia that smells like, okay, imagine old gym socks, onion soup, and a gas leak had a baby and left it to ferment in a hot car. Yeah, it's that bad. Some people actually eat this thing, bless their iron stomachs. But OP isn't planning on eating it. Nope, OP is planning a counterattack in the office air freshener wars. So one fine morning, OP stops by an international grocery and picks out the ripest, funkiest durian they can find. Brings it to work, quietly stashes it in the break room fridge early before most people arrive. It's in a container, but like durian cannot be contained. This is a weapon of mass olfaction. The stage is set, lunchtime rolls around, and like clockwork, Chad is heating up his daily dose of odor-dead fish. The microwave is humming. That fishy funk is just starting to waft through the vents. And that's when OP makes their move. They pop open that durian container and just let it breathe. Within minutes, the office is in chaos. People are gagging, eyes watering. Someone in HR is dramatically holding a Febreze bottle like it's a crucifix. One coworker is like, oh my god, what is that? Did something die in the walls? The durian stench is kicking the fish smell's butt and taking its lunch money. It's like a toxic Pokemon battle of odors. Chad comes back to the break room to grab his fish and nearly passes out. He's like, sniff sniff, what the? His eyes are watering and he's coughing like he's suddenly developed tuberculosis. The dude actually has the audacity to be grossed out and upset, as if he hasn't been subjecting everyone to tuna hell for weeks. Pot, meat, kettle, and you're both stinky. Now OP is doing their best to keep a straight face, casually eating their sandwich that they smartly brought cold. Inside they're dying of laughter. Meanwhile the office manager comes through, gagging, and is like, alright, what is that smell? This is unacceptable. Chad immediately points at the durian on the counter like, it's that, who brought that? And OP, our hero, just goes, oh yeah, that's mine. It's a durian fruit. I brought it for, a cultural experience lunchtime moment. They say it super innocently, as if they were just trying to broaden their co-workers' horizons or something. Chad is livid but can't exactly say no stinky foods allowed without everyone giving him the side eye, because hello, Mr. Reheated Trout, that's been you this whole time. The manager ends up banning strong-smelling lunches outright after this glorious stench off. A new office policy comes out the next day. No fish, no durian, basically no biohazard meals at work. Fine by everyone. Chad has to finally stop nuking fish. Hallelujah. And OP quietly retires their durian bomb with a victorious grin. The best part? Rumor is, after that incident, Chad had to throw out his fish lunch because the durian smell seeped into it and made it inedible. He went out and bought a sandwich instead. So he basically got a whiff of his own medicine. And it was even nastier. I mean, it's a little evil genius, right? Sure. OP gassed themselves a bit too. Durian is no joke, but sometimes you gotta take one for the team in the name of petty revenge. And honestly, I'd crown OP the office hero for that. It's the nuclear option of lunch wars. But hey, desperate times call for desperate fragrances. Sniff sniff, justice served. Phew, let's just agree. Nobody wins when co-workers start a smell war. Okay, palate cleansed, sort of. Let's move on to the next drama. This one is straight out of an halfway asshole post. And it's got family tension and relationship chaos. Buckle up. So picture this. OP is a 25-year-old who recently broke up with their long-term partner after some major betrayal. Like the ex cheated on OP. Let's say got caught sexting their co-worker or something. Equally slimy. So obviously OP kicked that cheater to the curb. End of story, right? Well, not if OP's mum has anything to say about it. Apparently OP's mum loved this ex. The ex had been around for years. The mum practically treated them like family. Which okay, fine, until it isn't. OP's over here heartbroken and trying to move on, while mom is still in the ex's fan club, sending them cute cat memes and "you doing okay, sweetie?" texts. Kinda weird, but it gets worse. OP comes home one day, ready to enjoy a quiet evening of eating ice cream straight out of the tub in sweatpants, which is the official breakup recovery uniform. They walk in and nearly drop the Haagen-Dazs because sitting on their couch, looking all sheepish, is the ex. And guess who is happily pouring them a cup of tea in OP's kitchen? Mom. I kid you not. Mom used the emergency spare key that was meant for like actual emergencies, not surprise ex-boyfriend reunions, to let the ex into OP's apartment without any warning. OP is standing there like, what the actual hell, Mom? Mom is all smiles, going, honey, look who's here. I figured you two should talk things out. Just hear him out. He made a mistake, but he's really sorry. She's doing that overly sweet sitcom mom voice, as if this is some Hallmark movie plot where she reunites the star-crossed lovers. Meanwhile, OP is just boiling with rage and disbelief. The ex stands up, trying the puppy dog eyes all "I miss you babe, I screwed up," and OP is not having it. They just point to the door and are like, nope, out, both of you, now. Mom's smile drops like a bad habit. She's like, wait, what? You're kicking me out? I'm your mother. And OP just goes, yes, I am. You had no right to do this. This is a huge invasion of my privacy and trust. Give me my key back and please leave. Now Mom is all offended, clutching her pearls, figuratively. She starts getting teary, saying she was just trying to help and that OP is being rude and ungrateful. The ex is awkwardly standing in the doorway at this point, probably regretting every life choice that led to this moment. OP basically has to herd them both out into the hallway. They take the key back from Mom. Honestly, I'm envisioning a dramatic snatch. Snatch that key. And then slam the door. Of course it doesn't end there. Family drama time. Mom immediately calls up like every relative to complain that OP threw her out on the street. Now I'm picturing my own mom doing this and me just wanting to crawl under a rock. The phone starts blowing up with texts from Aunt Karen and Cousin Busybody, all taking Mom's side. She was just trying to mend your broken relationship, dear. Your mother loves you and wants what's best. One even says you'll regret pushing your family away one day. Oh, spare me. OP is now questioning themselves. Was I too harsh? I mean, it's your mum, but also, what in the nosy meddling heck, right? The comments on the post? Because of course OP vented all this on Reddit, are like 99% NTA, not the asshole, and I fully agree. I mean, newsflash, setting your child up for an ambush with the cheating ex they never wanted to see again is not how you win. Parent of the year. It's how you get put in timeout, apparently. In the aftermath, OP did change the locks. Good move, honestly, and told Mom she needs to apologize before they even think about talking again. Mom is stubborn though, doubling down and saying OP is being dramatic. Typical. I'm sitting here thinking, OP handled that better than I would have. If I came home to find my ex chilling with my mom, I might have just passed out on the spot or started screaming incoherently. At least OP stayed firm and kicked them out without like a full WWE smackdown happening. Good for them for setting boundaries, even if Mom threw a fit. So yeah, no way is OP the bad guy here. Sometimes family, even mothers, overstep in a huge way, and actions have consequences, like losing key privileges. Mom can stay mad, but hopefully she'll eventually realize she crossed a line the size of the Grand Canyon. Okay, shifting gears from melodramatic moms to entitled aunts, because why have just one kind of family drama when you can collect the whole set, right? So for this story, OP is a teenager who's super into PC gaming and has this sweet gaming setup in his room. Think dual monitors, custom keyboard, probably RGB lights everywhere making it look like a freaking spaceship, the whole nerd paradise. OP's pretty proud of it, and also protective, as you would be after sinking all your Christmas birthday money into it. One weekend, OP's family hosts a big gathering at their house. Cue the entrance of Aunt Patty and her precious 8-year-old son, little Timmy. Not their real names, obviously, but you get the vibe. Now, little Timmy is a hyperball of chaos who sticky fingers everything, and has the attention span of a squirrel on energy drinks. The moment he walks in, his radar hones in on OP's gaming setup through the slightly ajar bedroom door. It's shiny, it's glowing, it's irresistible. Aunt Patty immediately is like, "Oh wow, OP, is that your computer? Timmy loves video games, maybe you can let him play some Mario or whatever? Because every console and PC is a Nintendo to certain adults, you know?" OP politely but firmly says, I'd rather not. It's a pretty expensive setup and I don't want anything to get broken." Aunt Patty does the dramatic eye roll. "He's not going to break it. He's a good boy. Don't be selfish. Let him have a turn. You kids and your gadgets, you should share." OP stands firm. "Sorry, it's not happening." Timmy immediately starts whining because he overheard and now must touch the shiny computer, of course. Aunt Patty shoots OP a glare like OP just told her kid Santa isn't real or something. Things calm down for a bit after OP literally closes and locks his bedroom door. Smart move. OP goes to grab a soda from the kitchen. And guess what happens while he's gone? Aunt Patty finds the spare key to OP's room. Why do meddling relatives always find a way? Next thing, OP returns to find the door open and the little terror Timmy in his room, mashing away at the keyboard and mouse like he's playing whack-a-mole. OP is like, "What the heck? I said no." But it's already too late. In the 2 minutes Timmy had at the helm of this expensive battle station, chaos reigns. He managed to exit out of OP's game, delete a folder off the desktop, who knows what was in it? Hopefully not an important school project or something. And for the grand finale, he knocks over OP's open can of Mountain Dew straight into the keyboard. Sparks fly. Literally. The keyboard sizzles and goes dark. Those fancy RGB lights? Gone. Timmy starts bawling because the keyboard made a scary zapping noise and probably shocked him a little. Aunt Patty rushes in, sees the mess, gasps like someone shot the family dog, and then, I kid you not, she starts yelling at OP. "Why did you let him play unsupervised? He's just a child. You should have been watching him." OP is standing there with the most flabbergasted look. "Like, are you for real, lady?" OP says, "I didn't let him. You literally went into my room after I said no." Meanwhile, Aunt Patty is hugging Timmy, who is doing that hiccup cry thing kids do, and she's glaring daggers at OP. The commotion, of course, draws in OP's parents and other relatives. Everyone is quickly brought up to speed, and luckily they all side with OP. Aunt Patty is sternly reminded that she ignored OP's clear boundaries, and now she has to face the consequences, namely, paying for the ruined keyboard. She tries to protest that it was an accident, and that Timmy is just a child, but no one is having it. OP's dad calmly insists, "You break it, you buy it." Realizing she's not going to win, Aunt Patty finally grabs her sniffly kid and leaves in an angry huff, still muttering about how unfair it all is. Later on, OP's mum actually does send Aunt Patty the bill for the destroyed keyboard. With a friendly note, I'm sure. Aunt tries to fight it, but the whole family stands firm, so she begrudgingly pays up. On the bright side, OP ends up with a brand new keyboard on Auntie's dime. Sweet justice, if you ask me. Moral of the story, no means no, whether it's someone touching your high-end PC or anything else. If you ignore that, don't be surprised when you get hit with the consequences and an invoice. Alright, let's move along from family drama to something a bit more socially awkward, shall we? Imagine the most mortifying socially awkward moment possible, and then double it. That's basically this next story. I'm already cringing in sympathy. So OP is heading home after a long day, work or classes, take your pick. And they decide to grab an Uber. It's late afternoon, maybe getting dark, and they're waiting outside a shopping centre for their ride. The app says your driver John is arriving in a grey Toyota. There are like 5 grey cars pulling up every minute, but OP spots one that looks about right. Grey sedan, dude in the driver's seat, kind of looking around. OP assumes, yep, that's my ride, and hustles over. The car stopped at the curb like 10 feet away from where OP was standing, engine running. OP, being the efficient person they are, yanks open the back door and hops in, all in one swift motion. They settle in, sigh and say, "Thanks man, I've had a day. The traffic been okay today?" Kind of doing that polite stranger small talk, you know. There's a pause. The driver, who is not John by the way, this is some random dude, slowly turns his head like a scene from a horror movie. He's a middle-aged guy, and the look on his face is pure wadiwapi tum. His eyes are wide, kind of like a deer in headlights, but also a deer that might be packing pepper spray in the glove box. OP and the driver just lock eyes in the rearview mirror for a second, both confused as heck. OP's brain is still half thinking, is this the right car? Did I just weird out my Uber driver by being too friendly? And the driver says, can I help you? At this point, OP realizes something is off. They glance at their phone and see a new message. Uber driver, I'm here, where are you? With a photo of a completely different car, a blue Honda, and the driver's on the other side of the parking lot. OP's stomach drops into their shoes. They slowly go, "You're not John, are you?" And the guy says, no, I'm definitely not. He kind of half smiles now, maybe realizing what happened. OP is dying inside. They go full apology mode. "Oh my god, I am so sorry. I thought you were my Uber. I'm so sorry." They scramble to unlock the door. It auto-locked when they got in, so now they're panicking at the door like it's a trap. The guy is now chuckling. "No worries, but yeah, I'm just waiting for my wife, not driving people around." OP finally pops the door open and basically tumbles out of the car, mumbling sorry like 5 more times. They back away, face probably as red as a tomato. The guy actually finds it funny at this point and says something like, "Hope you find your real ride," before OP closes the door. Honestly, shout out to that dude for being cool and not like calling the cops on the mysterious intruder or something. Now OP has to do the walk of shame across the parking lot to where their actual blue Honda Uber is now parked. The real driver is waving at them like, "Over here." OP is just avoiding all eye contact with humanity, probably wishing a black hole would open up in the asphalt. They get in the correct car this time and immediately tell the real Uber driver, "I just got in the wrong car, I'm so embarrassed." The driver laughs and says, "Haha, it happens more than you think." Which, okay, bless that Uber driver for trying to make OP feel less stupid. But that probably didn't erase the cringe. To top it off, as they drive by the spot where OP committed Grand Theft Auto Awkward Edition, OP sees the first guy's wife approaching the grey car, and the guy is animatedly telling her something. No doubt the tale of the random stranger who jumped into his back seat. They both look over as OP's Uber passes, and OP just sinks lower in the seat. OP said they spent the rest of the ride contemplating changing their name and moving to another city because the secondhand embarrassment was so strong. Okay, maybe not literally, but they definitely did not feel like showing their face around that shopping centre for a while. I am absolutely wheezing at this mental image. On the scale of awkward social fails, that's up there at the top. I mean, we've all had close calls, like pulling on a door that clearly says push, or waving back at someone who wasn't waving at you. But full on climbing into a stranger's car, that's next level. At least it makes a hilarious story after the fact. And hey, let's be real, it could have been worse. The guy could have freaked out, or OP could have buckled up and the dude driven halfway home before anyone noticed. Imagine. So I'm glad everyone walked away with their wallets and dignity, mostly intact. Alright, deep breaths to recover from that cringe. Next story please, before I die of embarrassment by proxy. Alrighty, moving from personal cringe to public chaos, specifically, a wild Karen encounter in the flesh. This next story is a classic case of I do not work here lady, and it's equal parts infuriating and hilarious. OP is at a big box store. Let's say it's Bullseye Mart. You know, the one with the red logo and the dog. Wink wink. OP is just shopping for some household stuff, minding their own business, and importantly, they're not wearing any sort of uniform, unless you count jeans and a Marvel t-shirt as a uniform. But fate is cruel, and OP happened to wear a red shirt, the same colour as the store's employees' polos. Uh-oh. Enter Karen, middle-aged, haircut stacked high with entitlement, pushing a cart full of random items. OP is scanning a shelf for, I dunno, the best brand of peanut butter, when they hear that telltale throat clearing behind them. Ahem. OP turns around, and Karen is giving them the squint eye. Before OP can even do the polite, "Oh, sorry, am I in your way" thing, Karen launches in. "Finally, I've been trying to get someone's attention for 5 minutes. Where are the extra large trash bags?" The ones on the shelf are all small. She's tapping her foot. She actually taps her foot. OP, a bit startled, glances down at themselves. No name tag, no store logo, just casual clothes, and realizes Karen has made the classic mistake. They quickly say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't work here." Now any reasonable person would be like, "Whoops, my bad," and move on. But this is a Karen, so buckle up. She responds, "What do you mean you don't work here? You're wearing a red shirt." OP blinks, kind of incredulous. "Ma'am, I'm just shopping. I don't work here, I promise." They even gesture to their Marvel t-shirt print like, "See? Not a uniform." Karen is not having it. Her voice goes up an octave. "Young people these days. You were helping another customer just a minute ago." OP was literally just talking to their own friend who tagged along, but I guess to Karen that looked like helping a customer. At this point, OP realizes logic is not invited to this party, so they try another tactic. "I do not work here. I'm literally trying to buy things myself." And OP even points to the shopping basket on their arm filled with items. Pretty solid evidence, right? Karen looks at the basket, narrows her eyes, and says, "That's probably stuff other customers asked you to get for them. Stop lying and help me." She actually stomps her foot now. There's full tantrum energy brewing. People in the aisle are starting to stare. OP is torn between frustration and the awkwardness of not wanting a scene. But Karen is beyond reasoning. She yells, "If you don't help me this instant, I'm going to get your manager and have you fired." Ah yes, the classic battle cry of the Karen. OP, now officially done with this nonsense, just smirks and says, "You know what? Sure, let's get my manager." He raises his voice a bit. "Manager?" Right on cue. Or maybe because of the commotion, the actual store manager comes over, name tag and all, asking if there's a problem. Karen launches into her tirade. She accuses OP of refusing to assist, being rude, the works. OP just crosses his arms and lets her rant. The manager listens patiently and then says, "Ma'am, he doesn't work here." Karen is flabbergasted. She insists, "Oh yes he does, he's wearing red and everything." The manager repeats, "No, he really doesn't. And I heard you yelling just now, which is not acceptable in this store." Karen's face goes through a range of emotions, from shock to fury. She sputters something about lazy employees, and then predictably declares, "I'm never shopping here again." The manager just responds calmly, "Alright ma'am, that's your choice." Karen finally storms off, still muttering about incompetence, as she disappears down the aisle. In the aftermath, OP and the two real employees just exchange glances and then burst into laughter. The manager even jokes, "So you want a job, since OP handled the situation like a pro?" OP chuckles and politely declines, saying something like, "I think I've had enough of retail for one day." They all share a light moment over it. OP gets to finish his shopping in peace, peanut butter and trash bags in hand, while Karen presumably goes home to write a scathing Yelp review about a non-existent employee. Honestly, talk about a self-inflicted fail. Maybe next time she'll actually listen when someone says, "I don't work here." But knowing Karen's, well, let's just say I won't hold my breath. Alright, I think we've earned a deep breath after that retail roller coaster. Ready for another one? Let's get into it. This next one is a dating drama that will make you reconsider ever agreeing to dinner without extreme vetting first. It's equal parts cringe and WTF, and honestly, I would have noped out too. OP. Let's call him Dave, late 20s, has been chatting with this girl from a dating app for a couple weeks. They hit it off online. Banter's good, she's cute in her pics. Everything seems normal. They finally decide to meet up for dinner at a nice restaurant that just opened in town. OP is a little nervous but excited. You know, first date jitters but hopeful. He arrives first, gets a table, and waits. The reservation was for 2 people. Key detail, 2. A few minutes past the meeting time, the girl, call her Ashley, texts that she's parking and will be right in. OP is like, cool, looking over the menu, trying to decide between steak or pasta, maybe both if he's feeling wild. Then Ashley walks in with an entourage. OP looks up and sees her plus 5 other girls trailing behind her, like she's the lead of a girl group and this is their world tour. OP is baffled, thinking maybe he's witnessing a coincidence, like she bumped into friends at the parking lot and they'll say hi and go away. But nope, Ashley comes up to the table and cheerfully says, Hope you don't mind, I brought some friends. Now OP is too stunned to process this properly. The 5 friends are all giggling and squeezing into chairs as the waitstaff scrambles to accommodate the suddenly much larger party. They literally have to push 2 tables together. OP's sitting there like a deer in headlights. He kind of gives a half smile, half grimace, like, hi. Inside, he's screaming, "What is happening?" The friends waste no time. They start picking up menus. One of them flags a waiter and asks, "Can we get some breadsticks or something?" Like they've done this before. Ashley herself acts like this is the most normal thing in the world. She goes, "I knew you'd be okay with it. You're so chill." OP is thinking, I was chill until I suddenly had a surprise party sprung on me. OP, trying to be polite, but also not sure how to address the giant elephant, well, elephants at the table, kind of nods and says, "Cool, the more the merrier," because what do you even say? He's outnumbered 6-1 here. The night goes on in painfully awkward fashion. OP's attempts to talk to Ashley are constantly derailed by her friends gossiping, taking selfies, and treating OP basically like he's their private waiter. I'm not kidding, one girl actually goes, "Oh Dave, be a dear and pass the water pitcher." Like, lady, I just met you. What? OP is internally fuming, but still holding it together, hoping at least the food is good so the night isn't a total waste. The group orders a ton of stuff, appetizers, entrees, expensive cocktails, the whole shebang. They're basically having a girls' night out, and OP is just there like an ATM with legs. Ashley occasionally throws him a flirty comment or touches his arm, but mostly she's gabbing with her friends about drama. OP has zero context for. By dessert time, yes, they ordered dessert too, of course. OP has decided he's absolutely not paying for this circus beyond maybe his own meal. He's calculated that the table has racked up hundreds of dollars in food and drinks. Meanwhile, OP had maybe a burger and 1 beer because his appetite was ruined by the absurdity. The check comes, dropped right in front of OP. The waiter probably assumes this must be one wealthy dude treating his harem or something. Before OP even reaches for it, Ashley smiles sweetly and goes, "Thanks so much for dinner, babe." Babe. First time she's used a pet name all night, and it's at the exact moment the bill arrives. How romantic. The friends are all gathering their purses, but not in the let me chip in way, more like preparing to leave. One even says thank you to OP, as if it were a done deal that he's paying for all 6 of them. OP has a moment of clarity. Nah, just nah. He stands up, takes the bill, and in one smooth motion says, "I'll be right back, gotta hit the restroom." But instead of heading to the restroom, he heads straight to the front of the restaurant. He finds the manager, or whoever, and quietly explains that he's only responsible for his portion, and that he was unexpectedly ambushed by extra people. The manager, perhaps sensing the situation, maybe he's seen this nonsense before, allows OP to pay just for his own meal separately. OP pays for his burger and beer, like $25 or something, leaves a nice tip for the staff dealing with that chaos, and then he walks out. Yep, OP paced out. He figured, you came with your friends, you can figure out the check. In OP's mind, this is borderline scammy behavior. Like, were they all trying to get a free dinner on him? Not today, Satan. As OP heads out, Ashley starts blowing up his phone with messages. First confused, then angry, basically demanding he come back and pay the bill. Turns out none of the girls brought enough money to cover their giant order, since apparently the plan was always for OP to foot the bill. So they were stuck at the restaurant, having to scramble and pool money, and likely call other people to bail them out. OP, of course, ignores the barrage of texts, goes home and blocks Ashley. The next day he vents on Reddit asking if he was wrong for ditching them. The Reddit jury overwhelmingly votes him NTA, not the asshole. In fact, many commenters call him a legend for pulling that move. Honestly, who in their right mind invites 5 friends on a first date and expects a free feast? Was this some kind of TikTok challenge, how to lose a guy in one dinner? If so, congrats to them, they nailed it. Ashley calling him rude is the cherry on top. Girl, your whole stunt was rude. So yeah, OP dodged not just a bullet, but a whole firing squad of red flags there. Good riddance. Alright, that saga gave me secondhand indigestion. Let's cleanse the palate with one more quick story. This one actually comes from one of you guys, and it's a short but sweet tech mishap that I think we can all relate to. So one of you guys, you know who you are, and thanks for sending this in, shared a quick tiff-you. Today I effed up about the perilous world of texting. And let me tell you, I've never cringed so hard and laughed at the same time, because it's just too relatable. Our protagonist, aka my subscriber buddy, was juggling a group chat conversation and a one-on-one text at the same time. You already sense disaster, right? They were in a group chat with some co-workers organizing a project and also messaging their work friend, let's call him Jake, in a separate chat. In the group chat, there's this one co-worker, the boss's son of course, who we'll call Kevin. Kevin was being super unhelpful, like spamming the chat with memes while everyone else was trying to coordinate real work, then complaining that nothing was getting done. Classic Kevin moves. So my subscriber is venting privately to Jake about Kevin's annoying behavior. They screenshot a particularly dumb comment Kevin made in the group chat. Something like Kevin wrote, "This project is so easy, why aren't you all done yet?" while he did literally nothing. Subscriber writes a snarky message to accompany the screenshot along the lines of, "OMG, look at this clown. Kevin acts like he's the team lead when he's done zero work, LMAO." They hit send and immediately feel their soul leave their body, because instead of sending that rant to Jake's chat, they accidentally sent it to the group chat. Yup, the one that Kevin is in, along with basically the entire team and their manager. Cue internal screaming. Within seconds, the group chat goes from dormant to exploding. A couple of co-workers drop the wide-eyed emoji. Someone else just sends a single copsin, and there's Kevin typing, "My subscriber friend is in full panic," probably considering whether faking their own death is a reasonable strategy to avoid the fallout. They quickly delete the message for everyone. Thank goodness for that feature. But it's too late. Enough people saw it, and you know Kevin saw it because he was definitely typing a response. Then Kevin posts, "Wow, tell us how you really feel." No punctuation, which somehow makes it even more ominous. The manager simply replies, "Let's keep side conversations out of the work chat, please." A masterclass in professionalism, but you can feel the awkward through the screen. In the aftermath, things were understandably awkward. My subscriber immediately messaged Kevin apologizing profusely. The group chat stayed all business for a while. It wasn't the ideal way to call someone out, but hey, what's done is done. Still, that moment of realizing you sent the wrong message shudders. There's no adrenaline rush quite like it. It's the fight or flight of the digital age. I've come this close to making that mistake myself, and you better believe I triple check every screenshot now. To the subscriber who sent that in, thank you for the story, and also thank you for the reminder to always double check the chat destination. May your future texting be forever error-free, and may Kevin actually do his share of the work from now on. Alright folks, on that note, I think it's time to wrap things up. That's all the stories I've got for you today. Man, we went through a roller coaster from stinky office revenge to awkward car confusions, entitled family drama, and cringe texting fails. My emotional support beverage is officially empty after all that. I hope you guys had a good time listening, and maybe got a laugh or two, or at least a what the heck head shake. Let me know in the comments which story was your favorite, or if you've ever been in a similar situation. You know I love reading your replies, and hey, I might even be reading your story next time. So if you've got some crazy saga or a funny mishap you want to share, don't be shy. Send it my way, and we might feature it in a future video. If you enjoyed hanging out with me and all this secondhand chaos, do your boy a favor, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe for more. It really helps out, and plus you'll get to join in on more stories and laughs next time. Alright, I'm going to sign off, and probably go triple check my text messages. Take care of yourselves, stay chaotic, but not too chaotic, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.